from winning F3 and F2 to finally getting a seat in F1, only to retire in his first race ever. Oscar Piastri isn't exactly having the best time. Australian F1 rookie Oscar Piastri had his debut in Bahrain when he raced with McLaren. Unfortunately, that lasted just about 14 laps, because his McLaren team ended up suffering a massive nightmare. He qualified for P18 on Saturday. However, he did have a good start to the race. He gained 3 places in the early running, so it clearly shows the guy's got talent. If he had the car and if he was able to race till the last lap, he might have just gotten his first ever F1 points in his first race ever. But on lap 14, he was called into the pit because there was an issue. His car failed to restart after a steering wheel change. Before coming into the pit, Oscar told his team that he lost the gearbox. Ted Kravitz, Sky Sports commentator, stated that the engine was completely dead. The thing is, he had to turn it off before he came into the box. But then he ended up shaking his head because nothing seemed to work, and it really was such a miserable start for him. Because the truth is, based on everything that we've seen the guy do, all of us were really expecting him to have an amazing Grand Prix. This is definitely not the kind of start we were expecting from the guy, to be honest. And I don't mean to start a war in the comment section, but maybe, just maybe, going to a sinking ship like McLaren wasn't exactly the best of ideas. But the question is, what went wrong? According to McLaren CEO Zach Brown, there was some sort of electrical issue with the gearbox. The team did change the steering wheel to make things work better, but that did not work out for the best either. It didn't end up fixing the issues that were really there, which was that the gearbox is completely messed up. Because if you remember, even preseason testing didn't go too perfect for the team, considering that their gearbox had to be sent all the way to England. But the McLaren CEO has assured us that the team is working on diagnosing what the issue is. Unfortunately, that won't fix the issue. The truth is, they just didn't make a good car. Cause just take a look at Lando Norris. He's a brilliant driver, and for all of 2021 and 2022, he outshined the 8-time Grand Prix winner Daniel Ricciardo. Lando is one of the best in the sport right now, but even he couldn't manage anything more than P17, and he was only able to do that because he was the last to finish the race. 3 drivers had to retire, and the problem was there was a pneumatic pressure leak in the power unit of his car, and he had to pit 6 freaking times. 6 times in one race. It's honestly surprising how at the very least he was able to get the car across the finish line. Even the 2016 world champion, Nico Rosberg, couldn't believe what had happened. "Oh my god," he stated. Shockingly, he mentioned that Lando had a super rough pit stop, and Piastri had his problems. The cars just aren't working, and the worst bit is McLaren doesn't even know why they aren't. That was a super rough start for the team. It's especially tough for Lando, since he's ready to start fighting for wins in world championships. But he's stuck, and his team really can't figure out how to fix all the problems. However, it's bad for Oscar too. He's a proven winner, yet he's had the worst start imaginable, and he's really upset over everything that happened. Talking about his car and all the problems that he faced, here's what Oscar stated. "It was disappointing to have finished soon. We were going well, got a decent start, and made good overtakes." He also said, "Up until the electrical problem, we were doing a good job. Unfortunately, he still doesn't know what the issue is. We're still working out the issue, and we hope changing the steering wheel would fix it, but it didn't." Oscar also said that there are a lot of positives to take from everything that happened. The car did seem to have a better pace in the race as compared to testing, and he also claimed that he learned a lot. Oscar's glad that he had his debut and experienced his first ever F1 weekend, and he's also looking forward to having a better weekend in Saudi Arabia. "I'm glad he's hopeful, I really am, but I don't think the walking-based team will be able to do anything impactful this season, because rather than increasing their pace throughout the season, they'll be busy fighting fires and fixing problems." Here's the thing about McLaren. They have 2 awesome drivers, but they have 2 terrible cars, and this means that this season is going to be a painful one. I'm not the only one who thinks this way though. F1 Twitter had some interesting thoughts too. One user stated that other than crashing, there's nothing that could have been worse for McLaren.
Overall, for me, has been about assessing the team, setting the vision, the mission, making sure that everyone is on the same page, everyone understands the priorities, and then work hard to get the job done.
Yeah, I think everything's about incremental gains. So we're not betting everything on the wind tunnel or the new simulation or the new manufacturing, but it's a combination of all that that's going to allow us to take steps forward in all those areas. So it's all about chipping away at the gap that there is to the front of the field.
Another user hilariously noted that McLaren built this year's car using parts from AliExpress. A McLaren fan acknowledged that it's really tough seeing McLaren and Lando in such a bad spot, and that they were hoping they would be relevant this year. That's true, isn't it? The team really does have a long way to go, because right now McLaren is in absolute shambles. So now the question is, how much trouble is McLaren in really, and can they fix it? McLaren's difficulties are not a surprise. Andrea Stella, the team principal, stated that he wasn't exactly happy with the launch specification of the car, and that he hopes they can improve it. Despite that though, there are still hopes that development upgrades will arrive around the time of Azerbaijan, and they might end up helping the team with the deficit. McLaren's CEO stated that the team was way behind where it wanted to be, and that a lot of work needs to get done to achieve its goals. At the same time though, he's stating that everyone should be encouraged by what's to come, because the team does have some cool upgrades coming. And yes, the upgrades might fix the race pace, and they'll be helpful too. But here's the thing, right? It won't be easy because a lot of McLaren's woes lie with reliability as well. If it was just about pace, they might just have gotten away with some points in Bahrain.
I get my head back into things and do my part, see what I can work on personally from a driver perspective, what I can do better than last year and what I can bring more to the table for the whole team this year too.
Getting my head back up to speed as well, putting the body through a bit of a workout, getting used to it again. So yeah, it's been really good to get back up to speed and see all the work that's been going on.
But now the gearbox just refused to work. With a limited budget, you can either fix your old problems or try to increase your pace. Then there's another problem. This car was based on the car from 2022, and the car from 2022 was just horrible. Like, take a look at Red Bull. They had limited wind tunnel time, but did that make them slow? Nope, because they built the perfect car in 2022, so they just had to improve upon that. But McLaren really shouldn't have done that, since they built a terrible car to begin with.
There you have it. The new team and the MCL60 together for the first time. The next time you see them all will be at testing in Bahrain. Thank you, Zach, Andrea, Oscar and Lando for joining us. We wish you all the best of luck this season. See you in Bahrain!
Oscar Piastri suggested that the MCL60 was not at all different from the MCL36. He stated that it's just a small step from last year, nothing major. He also stated that while he's had limited experience with a ground effect car, he feels that this car is way too similar to the old one. The point is, everyone at McLaren knows that they need to pick up the pace. And folks, that's all for Oscar Piastri reacting miserably to his debut in Bahrain. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.